we're streaming. Yeah, it does. Yeah, let's start out our Monday morning talking about how shitty drinking makes you feel. By the way, today is Monday, and that means we're super motivated. And Bethany and I are here to talk about how to start. And I think they probably heard that, so I'm just going to bring that into the conversation.
Bring
Like,
up.
one of the ways to have a really super motivated Monday is not to drink the night before, right? You can do it on Friday if you have Saturday and Sunday to recover.
No, really, we should talk about this because I should share what I did. So I went almost 6 months with no alcohol. And the other night I was like, screw it, I'm gonna have a drink. And I did, and I drank so much. I stayed up till 4 a.m. and called a bunch of people at 1 a.m. drunk to tell them that I broke my drinking fast. And I was like, the stupid things you do when you drink. And then I woke up yesterday feeling terrible the whole day. And I was like, that was so dumb. Why did I do that? Right.
Let's talk about that instead of what we were going to talk about, or maybe we can segue into that. But I think here's the big question. We all know better. We all know exactly what to do for everything. I mean, most of us, like, by the time you're 26, you know about drinking and where that's going to leave you, or how to manage that, or whatever. But yeah, so here, why is that? What is your answer to that question? Why did I do that?
Yeah.
6 months is a huge accomplishment, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. And I mean, it's not like I've never been an alcoholic, right? Like, it's never been a problem for me to stop drinking or anything, but I have always associated drinking with the thing that like helped me relax, right? So if I was stressed out or whatever, but I've really been noticing on my healing journey that a lot of that has to do with my nervous system and healing my nervous system. And when I do that, I didn't feel like I needed the alcohol as much. However, I've also been literally physically helping to build this house, right?
Yes.
So it's like there's this
building a house. Anyone who's watching this, Bethany goes out and gets on a crane and like goes up and holds I don't know what you do, but she looks so cute doing it. So
thank you.
Looks cute in sweats all at the same time.
Thank you. I love you.
Stressing out your nervous system then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I've been feeling like I've been healing my nervous system a lot lately, but like the other day when I was thinking about it, I was like, we had all these things happen. Like, so we're building what's called a barndominium. So it's a metal house, right? It's a metal building. And this weather came and literally like destroyed one of the panels. Like, it just started raining and like the wind came and like literally destroyed one of the big, huge panels on the house. And I don't know. Now we got to figure out, like, do we have to order another panel, or did they send us extra? We don't know yet. Like, it could be kind of a big deal. So it was like the stress of this, the stuff. And I was like, I'm just done with today. Like, I'm just going to have a drink. Like, it was literally like, I went down this thought process of like, okay, I'm just going to have a drink. I'm just going to, like, who cares? Take this 6 months almost. I don't even care tonight. And don't get me wrong, I actually really enjoyed it. I had a very fun night, right? Like, I did. So I'm like, okay, so for me, I always come back to, how do I have that? Like, how do I get to the place where I don't feel like it's the alcohol that's going to get me there, right? So that I can feel good. I can feel relaxed in my body. I can move through that stress, whatever it is, the thoughts in my head, and enjoy a night like that without the substance. Like, that to me is what's interesting.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, I totally, as you're speaking, I'm thinking about the times in my life that I've done that and it's worked, and then the times I've not been able to get there. And I think that I think it has so much to do with exercise, like consistent movement. And when I stopped doing that, that's when I started regularly, and regularly isn't like daily, but I had never like been in my house alone and had alcohol until maybe like this, like January or something. It never occurred to me like to literally drink alone. So it was always socially induced, and I didn't drink that much, but I feel like the thing that has always saved me is movement. So I had all these things built into my day, like first thing in the morning after I do my little hour of power, I go work out before my brain, because like I told you this morning, if I wait like 30 more minutes, I'm done. Like I might go for a walk, but I'm not going to make it to the gym unless it's like a yoga class. And then I built in a lot of movement during the day. I bought a little trampoline, and after every Zoom call, I would do bouncy, 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 you know, and then I would do like yoga class at night or a bike ride, but build those in as a structure. And there's really something about the chemical, like you're speaking, the nervous system, to have a systematic way to like relieve stress and elevate mood. And that's when you start being able to, like we were going to talk earlier, we'll talk another day about visualizing, like going where you want in your mind. How else can you go where you want in your mind without alcohol or a substance?
Right.
If the wind comes and blows your dream down, you know? What are you supposed to do? Like, so what is the answer to that? Like, what do we build into our lives to help us kind of bounce back into possibility and optimism? And it's resilience, right? Like how quickly do we recover?
Yes. And I think too, it depends on your environment and who you surround yourself with, right?
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
So much.
So like that's a big part
Who
of
are
it.
you
Like,
hanging out with right now? You've got like goats and bunnies and like
oh my
flies. She's having like a menagerie.
yeah. I mean, so it really does make a difference. Like you have to be, you know, very careful or maybe protective or whatever of your energy, of your thoughts, like, and who you surround yourself with, because everybody's on their own journey, right? So some people, they don't care about drinking, like it's fine, like they'll go have a drink every night or every weekend to socialize or whatever, right? For me, it's like, okay, I've got to be aware of that. Am I okay to go be around that and not drink? Now, because I did it for 6 months, it was fine. However, sometimes it's not fun if you're the only sober one, right? And you're like, okay, let's go. Like, okay, come on. But but yeah, I mean, like
there's so much social pressure involved with alcohol and food. Yeah.
Yeah, food. That's the other thing. That's actually another thing I've been like delving into, is like the food part, like, because, you know, are we really hungry? I think you guys were talking about this on your live, like, are we hungry, or is there some other thing there that we're trying to actually feed by going and eating something?
It always comes back. I know you talk about this a lot, like we all do, but self-awareness is where we just have to start, right? So if we're willing to really be honest, what we really are hungry for has nothing to do with food. We want connection, we want comfort, we want security, we want hope, we want possibility, we want to believe that we have really the opportunity to become what we want and to create our lives the way we want them to be. And at the end of every day, I mean, I have clients I talk to about this every Monday. We revisit this, actually, Monday afternoon, Monday evening. What happened to me from when I woke up this morning until like 7 o'clock, when I decide I can't even really remember what my goals are. You know, it's like, maybe I'll just have a drink. I mean, what the heck? I just really, you know, you get back to those subconscious triggers and to those fundamental, like primal, like somebody smile at me and hold me and touch me and feed me and comfort me. You know, it's pretty primal.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, like, it's not that it's a wrongness,
No.
right? Like, that's human, and that it's not a wrongness, but it's like, I'm very interested, having been in that space of my life for so long, to like, what is beyond that, right? Like what is beyond that? And I feel like that's, we talk a lot about like the new paradigms or new paradigms that are available. And I feel like that is one of them. Like, I think that's why fasting is a big thing right now, or like juice fasting and fasting, or water fasting, even things like that people are trying these new things. Well, they're not new things, they're ancient things, but like, that we're getting back into these ideas, into these philosophies, into these practices to experience life in a whole new way. And what can come from that?
Yeah, it's really true. These are ancient things. And so much of it is really just I think the most difficult thing for sure about fasting, and probably with drinking and everything else, is what you have to do is resist your subconscious addictions and triggers for a time, until you like get more weight in the other side of the scale, like the scales tip, and then all of a sudden you look back and it's only a few days, really. I don't know how long it is for alcohol, but in the overall scheme of things, even if it were 90 days, think it's a matter of days, right? But all the triggers, you have to get to a point where you're like, okay, there is, at least for me, there's an element of discipline initially, and you have to be willing to sit in the discomfort and release. That's why all these exercises and all these modalities that you can access you can go to YouTube University and learn about them. They really help, because if you don't sit in it and let it go, you just tied into that behavior. Like, it's really hard not to eat.
Yeah. Well, and what's really cool about it, though, you even say it's like the resistance. It's like sitting with that resistance. If you really go into that resistance, I've noticed that for me, oftentimes it will start dissipating, and it's like, oh, okay, I actually don't have this drink of alcohol. I actually don't want that food. Or if there is something that I wanted, I like, my body needed something, that I could actually be aware of what my body was actually asking for, rather than, is it just like the subconscious program? Is it some other like I think I need to feel okay, instead of just being with it and feeling okay without it?
Exactly. So when you're talking about ancient things, it's like the simple things. That's what we tend to resist, right? And we push it away. But when you sit, like everything you're saying, I totally agree with that. And all of these modalities that people are talking about that are like cutting edge, they really have been around forever. And it's just that we have more addiction to stimulus. I think that's a big part of it. And the funny thing, like, even if it's a really intense fear and you kind of welcome it in and become aware of what's going on in your body, that, like you were saying, the magic of attention. And that's really like all we have. But when we attend to that and we say, okay, I'm going to give my attention to this and just allow it, and not judge it, and not push it away, and not fix it, not heal it, like just be there.
Yeah.
That's where the magic is. It literally dissipates, like you said. And then you can stand up and then you're almost like magically in a new paradigm. Because you get up and you're like, I'm still here. It's so weird. That thing that was driving me, that would have changed the entire trajectory of if you think about it, right? It changes the whole trajectory of your day and your life. That's not there anymore. So you might even call that freedom. Oh my gosh, I could choose something else.
You do, because you literally get the choice instead of using the substance, especially when it comes to alcohol. Because I feel like once you decide to take that drink, you've given up your choice to the alcohol then at that point.
Yes.
And so it's like, yeah. So are you going to give up your choices, or are you going to actually have the choice to choose something different?
And being aware of those triggers, right? So for me right now, for sure, it's tech. stuff that we're doing for building this new project. Yeah, tech triggers me, and extra movement is it's so powerful just to move the body.
Yes. So powerful. It's
And
right. It doesn't have to be big movements. Even like there's this thing, I think they call it the 5 Tibetan rites, I think is what it's called. Have you heard of that?
oh my gosh, yes. I used to do that with my aunt I was telling you about. Yes, that's so cool. Yes.
That's something that people could look into for a very like simple thing to do on a daily basis. Like I think it's just literally like 5 small exercises, but it's very I say it's small, but it's actually very impactful when you do it. So that's a great place to
The
start.
body, yeah, I feel like we could talk for like 6 months. There's
I
so
know.
many amazing things to talk, because that, and maybe we could leave people with a few ideas like that. But I was listening to this very old book this morning, thinking he was talking about actually what we were going to talk about, which is basically giving yourself what you want in your imagination first, right? And he was talking about how that the vagus nerve affect how everything in the body. So I don't know how much y'all have studied the vagus nerve, but it and the gut, brain, and the heart, mind, like everything. So your body, although we tend to resist the body, we think, oh my gosh, I'm going to punish my body, right? Because I drank, or, whatever. And all of these cycles, but it really, really can come down to being present and choosing something really simple. I love that you brought that up. I had forgotten about that. Or bouncing on a trampoline, or going for a walk, or taking off your shoes and like standing in a puddle. Like
Right.
being a child, like those things really help. Or go sit on the earth.
Yeah, that's so true. And I love that you said that, because when I really started realizing that was something I needed, I actually resisted that part of it. Like even just taking my shoes off, I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to step in the dirt. Like, and I found myself resisting like the smallest little things that are so big. Right. And then I just started doing it. I'm like, oh, that feels good actually. And
I
then
can imagine you out in that mud puddle it was not a puddle. She got her big monster truck stuck in the mud, right?
gosh, yes.
So I'm imagining yeah, it's almost like it's a martial art, life is, right? So when you're starting to resist and you just do the Aikido move of like, okay, I'm not going to judge it. Here comes energy. I'm going to just like pass it off. Then you're standing in agency and power and possibility and choice.
Yeah.
But we're so darn controlling with our brains.
Yeah.
Like even before we got on this video, we're like, oh, we got these hair problems. We've got it's like everything's a problem, right? And that's just kind of how it doesn't matter how quote unquote knowledgeable or enlightened you are, that stuff is there.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
here we are on planet Earth, right? Where there's like mud and mosquitoes and crappy hair days and disease and stuff, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, I love this topic. There's so much. We go so deep, and I know that I don't know how long we've been on here, but
probably it's just us, no one watching. But that's okay. I don't, yeah. I think we can let it go. What would you like to gift whoever is still listening before we leave everyone to the most amazing week you've ever had?
Yes, I love that. Yes. That right there is a gift in itself. I would like to just, leave this call, this live with saying, stay out of the judgments of yourself. Like the next day when I woke up feeling sick after drinking, I was in such judgment of myself. I'm like, why? I was like, okay, I'm gonna let myself be in judgment of myself, and then I'm gonna not. And it's like, it's okay. Like I get to make another choice. Like I have a new day. I get to make another choice. And honestly, it's making it a lot easier not to drink, because it just sounds awful. It's like, oh, I remember again why I decided to stop. you
It's
know?
a reminder.
It is. It was a so yeah. So when you do something that you would judge yourself, you know, what can you do to get out of the judgment of yourself and be kind?
Yeah, it's that little child thing again. I mean, when you think about your kids, when they make another mistake, like everything we feel for them is compassion. And all
Yeah.
we want to do is encourage them, give them enough nurturing, but not too much. And and it's for some reason really more challenging to do it for ourselves. But that's why we have each other too. Like one of the things I keep saying about social media, because I don't know what you get, but I have people saying, like, why do you waste time doing these things? Or, like, I hate social. I still know a lot of people that I hate social media, or I hate Instagram or whatever. But the fact is, it's a platform to engage with people and have connection. It can
Mhm.
be I think it is the most magical, positive. It is a marketer's dream come true, and you can use the tool in a really positive, loving, impactful, compassionate. It's like money. It just makes you more of who you are. It gives you more options to express. So I love coming on here like this just to connect and have
Yes.
a conversation with someone that I have very much regard and respect, and also just fun with. And
Yeah.
all of those things are good. So you don't have to limit yourself to those people that are around you. If they're saying, you stupid fool, why did you go out and do that? Or come on, let's get the best solution for a hangover is another drink, right? There's those people too.
Right. Which I did not do, by the way. No.
Of course not. No, I'm just saying.
No, I love that because I actually did get rid of all of my social media for a while. So like this is actually a pretty new page for me. Again, I had a little bit of a following with my coaching stuff, and I got rid of it. And I was like, you know what? I can actually use this in a way that works for me. I don't have to buy into all the negativity around it. And I can use it in a way that works for me and have those connections with people that I wouldn't have normally had the connections with. So, and then that's
You just told me that's how you met your husband. I just heard two husband stories yesterday, like true love husband stories that came from social media.
yeah, exactly. And it's crazy because we didn't live that far apart, but we
Yeah,
never until Facebook. So, yeah,
there you go.
there you go.
You get what you're looking for, you get what you're expecting, you get what you're imagining. I'm telling myself this as I'm about to dive back into tech work. So thank you, Bethany. This is really a gift for sure for me. So I hope that anyone else who's listening to it, and whoever's watching this, we have collaborated with another amazing woman, Tiffany Ortega, and we have a really brand new summit that's coming out, and we just rebranded. That's something maybe we could even talk about on another time. Like when something isn't feeling right, doesn't matter how much tech work you've done. If you're ready for a rebrand, like you get an intuitive vision, follow it.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. I'm really proud of us for stepping into that and listening to the advice from other people, and that I think is really going to change things for the better. So, yeah.
Okay, good. We'll have a beautiful week. It's going to be an amazing day, an amazing week, and we're going to be on here quite often.
Yes.
So I look forward to that. Have a great day. Thank you for being here.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Thanks, everyone. Love you. Mwah.
Bye.